Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. We are once again in Stormworks working on our microcarrier, and I am getting right into the building for this one. So we're trying to get this ship done. It is on the workshop, guys. If you haven't seen, definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link down below. But in this episode, we are going to be making a quartermaster's room, and we are going to be doing a little bit more work to the armory section of the ship. So definitely stick around for that. Stay tuned. I've got some cool stuff planned for that. If you guys like this build or like the series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm currently kind of trying to come up with ideas for our next big build. I think I have a couple cool ones in the works, but nothing set in stone yet. So if you do have any ideas, definitely also let me know down below about those. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what we got in store for today. I'm just kind of shaping this thing up. I'm going to get a little bit more of the interior done, and then we can move on to other parts of the ship. But I'm going to let the time lapse roll in this one for just a little bit, and we will come back. We've got quite a lot to do today. All right, well, you saw me get most of this room and hallway kind of detailed out. I'm just going to add some lights real quick to this bedroom. But yeah, this is going to be the quartermaster's space. He's kind of in charge of the inventory on the ship. So he's right across from the armory, kind of a place where he can kind of keep an eye on it and, just kind of make sure everything's safe. Nobody's messing with anything in there, that kind of thing. But we added this nice little long hallway, which is kind of almost like a defensive position for him too. So I'm going to add a couple half walls here so you can kind of duck and cover. And then behind this armory door, I'm going to add a bunch of equipment storage that doesn't really need to be locked up, like firefighting, scuba gear, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going to definitely add a little bit more equipment to this, just as I personally think that it's going to be needed. It is a larger ship. You can do a lot of stuff with it. So I wanted to make sure that you guys weren't limited just by the equipment that you had on the ship. So that's kind of the thought process with that. I'm just working on kind of making this hallway a little bit nicer for the time being. And then later on in the episode, we will move on to another part of the ship. For the purpose of the time, I'm just going to skip ahead here and we're just going to go into the actual world and I'll show you kind of this hallway and what I was talking about. Looks like I need to replace that block there, but yeah, so that's kind of what we got down here. Like I said, that past this wall, there's going to be more equipment storage and whatnot, but I kind of wanted to just get this set up. And then later on in the second half of the episode, we're going to go and do the captain's quarters, and that will be the last of the living quarters on the ship. So we can kind of cross that off our to-do list and move on to the other stuff. So we still got to make a mess hall, a little hospital room, and then I'm going to add some jail cells and almost like a person storage area, if you will. But disregard me, I'm just kind of acting like a child in the background. But yeah, we're going to add a storage space on the bottom floor of the ship for kind of like taking on passengers, overflow for passengers, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're going to get back into the build right now, and we will start kind of working on that captain's quarters like I mentioned. So, kind of going off of what I was saying earlier, we are adding a captain's quarters here to the main superstructure of the ship. And normally I don't do necessarily like a specific area for the captain's quarters, but in this ship I wanted to, just because the walk from the bridge all the way to the crew quarters down on the second deck is quite a long walk. So I figured, I had space over here. I wasn't going to fill this entire superstructure, and I didn't want more break room space. So I figured I would make this the captain's quarters right on the lower section of the superstructure. It's got some nice windows, so you can kind of look ahead and to the right. So he's got some good visibility out of the windows. But I also added a couple other things, as in like there's an alarm where you can kind of ping the captain from the bridge in his room. There's also going to be a private mic so you can talk to the captain, as well as there's going to be a ship-wide intercom that you can wake people up on. But yeah, that's kind of the thought process with this. So it's not going to be anything too fancy, just another basic bedroom. I'm going to add some equipment all over, of course, and then directly behind this is going to be the drone station. I don't think we'll have time for that today, but we will definitely cover that in another episode. But yeah, that'll basically finish out this lower floor of the superstructure. And then we, again, like I was saying earlier, we can kind of move on to like the med bay and the mess hall and the jail cells and a couple other things like that. But for the meantime, this is like one of the last crew quarter spaces that I wanted to get done. And this kind of rounds off the crew capacity to a nice number. I think in between the two bedrooms, we have two bedrooms with 6, so that's 12. We have another bedroom with 2, so that's 14. And then we have 2 more, the captain's quarters and the quartermaster, and that's 16. So, and I was aiming for a crew size from around 16 to 20 on this ship. So I did mention that we're going to add a bunch of overflow later on, and that'll be on the bottom deck. But there's a lot of seating areas all over the ship, so that really shouldn't be an issue. I'm just saying that we will have a dedicated space to kind of drop off like survivors and that kind of thing if they don't need any hospital attention. All right, well, we did have time to kind of get the drone stations in place. This is definitely not how they're going to finally look. I'm going to come back and redo this room. This room kind of looks a little, I don't know, I'm just not happy with it. It's not detailed enough. There's not enough information. It's also, with the drones, I try to kind of make them not really a button overload. So I know they can kind of be a little intimidating, especially because they don't usually have necessarily the same exact procedures as a lot of other vehicles. But the one on the right here is going to be for a boat, and I'll kind of show that off later on in a video. But it's an autonomous boat that is designed to just kind of be pulling extra security for the ship. It's really fast. It's got some anti-ship missiles, but other than that, not really too much going on. You can control it manually, or it will follow the ship if you ask it to. And then the one on the left is actually for planes and helicopters. So I have a workshop creation in my workshop called my aerial drone station, and that is what that is. So if you guys ever want to build a drone that works with any of my creations, what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to start using that as my standard drone controller for all helicopters and planes. And I know it's a little weird to say helicopters and planes, but typically you can kind of pull off the same kind of controls, and you need a lot of the same information for both of them anyways. So that's kind of the thought process with that. If you guys want to make your own drone compatible drones, just use the drone station on my workshop. There is no information being done on the actual drone station. So it's just kind of a seat with buttons being labeled. That's just one thing I kind of wanted to cover, just because that's also not necessarily standard for a lot of Stormworks creations. Typically, the drones will not be doing a lot of the computing on the drone itself. A lot of it is just sending information back to the station where it gets computed. My drones are a little different because they're doing all of the computation on the drone itself and just sending the video back. So a little weird, a little different process, but yeah. So when you do use my drone station, just kind of know that you're not going to get like a heads up display or anything. It's literally just a video feed and a radio feed with some tuned buttons and whatnot. But I did that so you guys could kind of make drones however you need it, and it also gives me flexibility in the future to make drones how I need them. Looks like that is going to be just about it for this one, guys. If you are still watching, thank you so much. It really helps the channel out. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like the build, you like the build series. I'm not going to spawn it in like we normally do at the very end of the creation, just because I really would only be showing you the crew quarters. I'm not going to get the drones out quite yet, but like I said, I should have a couple videos on that later. So I'm going to make probably a 2-part series on the drone boat that we made, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth there and how I get it to kind of rotate and all of that. But that is just about it for today, guys. So again, thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next episode.